Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you all are fine. Today we are going to start with our first topic of SST, that is history, when, where and how. In this lesson we are going to learn about meaning of history, need for studying history, understanding dates, periods and periodization, sources of history. What is history? History is a Greek word which means literally just investigation or inquiry. History is the past records of people, places, and events. The order of arranging the events that happened first, followed by the events that happened later, is called chronology. Chronological means information is organized in order of time. Chrono means time and logic means order. You can see the example given below. Jack and Jill ran up the hill to fetch a pail of water. After that, Jack fell down and broke his crown. Jill came tumbling after. Means all the stories which are told in chronological order. History allows us a chance to understand how people dressed, what people ate, and where people lived in the past or many years ago. History is not just about kings and nobility or heroes, it is about humankind and its growth. It helps us to know how, why, when, and where things happen. It tells us to learn lessons from the past and thus make our future better. Why do we need to study the past? Can you just think, why do we study the past, or what is the need to study the past? Yes, history or past we can say answers many questions about the past life, like how, where and when our early ancestors they appeared. And through the past we can understand how and why our ancestors lived as they did in the past, and in what manner they overcame the difficulties that came in their way. Then past also tells us about how agriculture started, or agriculture, irrigation and animal husbandry begin, and how it led to a more secure and settled life. Studying history helps us to understand how beliefs and ideas came into being and influenced the course of history. Then we have the two different periods, that is the prehistory and history. What is the difference? Prehistory and history. Historians have divided the past into two broad periods, that is prehistory and history. Prehistory means the period of time we study prior to the invention of writing. Prior to the invention of writing means before writing was invented, or the period for which there are no written records. That is called prehistory. Humans at that time were hunters and gatherers, and therefore did not lead a settled life. Now, to understand these prehistoric time or prehistory time, archaeologists They dig deep into the ground and learn about the life in the past from the remains they have found. Remains like it can be coins, tools, jewelry, pots, bones, monuments, and buildings. Now we come down to the second part, that is history. History is the period of the past that comes after the invention of writing and dating to 10 years prior to the present. Earliest writing was in the form of drawings seen in many caves. Then later people wrote on pillars, rocks, then clay tablets and barks of birch tree. Now this particular historical period or history is divided into three, that is ancient, medieval or middle period, and the last one, the third one, is the modern period. How do we study the past, or how do we come to know about the past? Many people, like the historians, archaeologists, the zoologists, the physicists, and other people, they help us to know about the things that happened long ago with the help of sources. The historians and the archaeologists, these people are the scholars who study our past using various sources and methods. So how do they find out about the past? How do these archaeologists they find about the past? The archaeologists they excavate the sites of ancient and medieval civilization and they examine the remains of their buildings, tools and other objects and interpret them before us. So before this I told you that they help us to know about things that happened long ago with the help of sources. So which sources? What are sources actually? Or you can say sources of history. Sources are clues that help in putting the past together. Sources are clues that help in putting the past together. Now these sources of history they are divided into two parts: archaeological sources and literary sources. Archaeological sources they can be called as material remains of or you can say material remains that are direct evidence, they cannot be hanged by humans and they tell us about the history. You can take the examples such as buildings, houses, pots and pans, monuments, coins, jewelries, writings on stone walls, and pieces of metal plates and food remains. These things they help in reconstructing the past. Archaeological sources they help us to reconstruct the history of a period for which we do not have any written records. Now these archaeological sources they are divided into the following: inscriptions and edicts, monuments, coins, artifacts and other objects. Now let's see the first archaeological source, that is inscription and edicts. Inscriptions are the writing engraved on rocks, tablets. It can be a clay tablet or it can be a copper tablet. Then the writings on the walls and pillars, pillars of forts or any palace. Now these particular inscriptions and edicts they tell us or give information about the names and dates of king, the extent of their empire, and important events during their reign. Study of the inscriptions is known as epigraphy. I'll give you one example. The Ashokan inscriptions help us in asserting the principle of his Dharma and the extent of his empire. Means the inscription or the Ashokan pillar, it gives us information about the Ashokan kingdom and the extent of Ashoka's empire. Monuments. Monuments, they are the old buildings of historical importance. Old building of historical importance. Now these old buildings or monuments, they give us information about the people, their social life, their religious beliefs, and their culture. I'll give you one example, the excavation of Mohenjo-daro. You can see the picture. This is the excavation of Mohenjo-daro. The next picture you can see is the picture of Harappan civilization or excavation of Harappan. The stupas and the temples which were built by Ashoka and the Gupta dynasty respectively, these are the important source of history. These are the important source of history. Let's see the next archaeological source, which are coins, artifacts, and other objects. Many archaeologists, they have found a large number of objects such as coins, tools, weapons, pots, statues, seals, paintings, and jewelry which belong to different periods of history. These coins, or you can say artifacts, they shed a valuable light on the progress of human civilization. Means they shed a light or they give us information about the human civilization. And the study of coins is called numismatic. Coins are important as they help in fixing the dates of several dynasties. They tell us about the dynasties in which year they were, and also tells us about the religion and cultural practice of the people who issued them or who made them. For example, the coin issued by Samudragupta. The coin which was issued by Samudragupta tells us that he was a devotee of Vishnu and that he was fond of music. Now let's learn about the second source of history, that is literary source. Literary source, it includes all kinds of literature, long and short, written and oral. It can be any written matter. So first one is the religious literature and the second one is the secular literature. Now first we come to the religious literature. These are the writings that are religious in context and theme, means which are related to a particular religion. Take example the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, Tipitakas. Vedic literature, the first example was Vedas. Vedic literature which comprises the four Vedas, Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda and Atharva Veda. These are the four writings of Vedas. The two important epics which were written or which were related to religion, they were the Ramayana and the Bhagavad Gita. Then the Puranas. They are they not only contain information on early religious practice, but they also show the social or economic or political life of the people. Tripitakas, there are three Tripitakas of Buddhist and the Angas of the Jainas. Besides being sacred religious texts, throw light on the economic and social changes taking place in the North India just before the rise of the Mauryan kingdom. Now we come to the next part of literary source, that is the secular literature. Secular literature is the books or text that are not of religious nature, means the text or the books which are not related to any religion, are called as secular literature. The first one is the traveler's account, court chronicles and biographies, or you can say autobiographies. We come to the traveler's account. You must have learned in your previous class, like Zhuangzang. He was a Chinese traveler. He came to India to study Buddhism, and he wrote about his experience in his book. Then we come to the court chronicles. These are the official records or accounts of a dynasty of a particular region. Means, take example the Mauryan kingdom, or before the Mauryan kingdom, whoever was there, they must have recorded their accounts in these books, the court chronicles. Then we have the biographies. Biographies, you know what is a biography. Then the next one is the oral history. Oral history is another source which is used by historians. It particularly refers to the historical records which are based on the personal experiences and opinions of the speaker. Example, folk songs, folk tales and myths. These particular oral history, it is handed down from one generation to another generation orally. Let's sum up what we have learned in our today's session, or the chapter history, when, where and how. Today we learned that what is history. In that we learned that history is nothing but means to inquire or investigate into the past. Then we have learned why do we need to study the past, or what is the importance, or what is the need to study the past, so that we can know how, where our early ancestors they appeared, how they started agriculture, irrigation, animal husbandry, and how they begin to live a settled and a secure life. Then we have seen what is period and periodization. In that we learned that the historians have divided the past into two periods, prehistory and history. Prehistory means the period for which we do not have any written records, and history means the period for which we have the written records, or the period which was after the invention of writing. Then we have learned that how do we study the past. Archaeologists, they help us to know about different things that happened long ago with the help of sources. They told us these sources were divided into two parts: archaeological source and literary source. In that we learned archaeological sources, again they were divided into inscriptions, edicts, monuments, coins, artifacts. And literary source, again it was divided into two parts: religious and secular. Religious, we learned that the text or the books which were related to a religion, and secular means which were not related to any religion. So that's all for the day. Hope this lesson was easy for you. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you.